Yo, what is going on, everybody? I am back again with another video, and I wanted to hop on here, make this short and simple, just a clean, straight to the point breakdown of how I do top-down analysis, how I seek for directional bias in the market, how I look for a draw on liquidity, and how I analyze price based off of what the higher time frame is telling me. So on this chart here, I have a daily chart of the S&P 500 on the left and the NASDAQ on the right. I have a representation of the entire quarter two and the entire quarter two for NASDAQ as well. And as you can see, we're coming close to the end of the quarter for the end of the last week of June. What I see here, the first thing that I'm going to do is analyze, has price taken any external range buy side liquidity? Because as you can tell in this entire quarter two, we have had bullish order flow. We've been consistently making higher highs and higher lows, and price has just been on a complete bull run. So I'm going to look at the S&P 500 first, and I'm going to check, okay, cool, we took previous quarter highs, and after we took previous quarter highs, we continuously ran. But I'm going to look more to the left and check and see, all right, cool, we took out the highs back in August of 2022. And what happened after we took out the highs back in August? We retraced. And this is our external buy side liquidity range. So what happens when price takes out external liquidity? It seeks internal range liquidity. And internal range liquidity could be an internal low of a swing. It could be a discounted PD array of a price swing. And my POI, after price took out the external buy side liquidity, was our discounted PD array from this latest energetic price swing that led us to take out the external range liquidity. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to measure from this swing low here to this swing high, premium and discount. And I'm going to do the same exact thing for the NASDAQ on my left. So we have our most recent energetic swing that took out the external range liquidity here for buy side, and the same thing for NASDAQ. And as you can see, once price took out our external range liquidity, we retraced into a discounted daily bullish fair value gap, and the same thing happened and occurred on NASDAQ here. Now exactly on June 26th, when price retraced and reached discount of this daily swing on NASDAQ, I sent this screenshot to my Discord watching NASDAQ inside of here. And my anticipation was for price to respect this daily bullish fair value gap both on NASDAQ and the S&P 500 for us to then continue and run to higher prices. So now that we've reached our daily bullish fair value gap in discount of the daily swing, our next move is to drop to our lower time frames. So we're going to drop to our 4-hour chart on both ES and NASDAQ. Okay, so now the first thing that I noticed when price retraced into the discount PD array of this daily swing, on the 4-hour chart below the daily, I noticed that this was just a huge buildup of trendline liquidity. We're making no stop hunts as we were making our lows to the range of discount, and the same thing on the NASDAQ as well. And if I pull up the YM, now here's another screenshot of what I sent my Discord on the 26th of June when I was looking at the 4-hour chart and I saw this huge buildup of trendline liquidity, and I said if we don't run the highs, the market is completely wrong, and YM was giving the tell, because the fact that we were dropping and making lower lows and lower highs without running any internal buy side stops, I knew structure was going to tell me that we were going to give up the ghost and run all of this buildup of trendline liquidity and internal buy side to then continuously run the highs. Okay, so now that we dropped to our 4-hour and we recognized that we had a buildup of trendline liquidity that looked like it was just an easy idea and a directional bias for us to take out those highs that were not internal sweeps of buy side liquidity, for us to run higher off of our higher time frame daily drop of a discount. Very quickly, I want to run with you guys over the sponsor of this video, which is the exchange PrimeXBT. If you are looking to trade anything and growing a personal account, I highly recommend them. They have great bonus offers on deposits, and they have extremely tight spreads. You're able to trade the crypto market, indices, metals, and foreign currencies. As you can see here, this is all the markets that you can trade: the stock market, the commodities market, foreign currencies, and cryptocurrencies. They have multiple trading tools for you to use, and even copy trading as well. If you guys did need a personal brokerage or an exchange to use, I highly recommend PrimeXBT. And if you were interested in signing up, I will leave a link in the description for you guys to use upon deposit and sign up in the description of this video. Now let's get back into it. So the next thing that I do is I'll drop down to an hourly chart, and I will mark off each day of the week with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And the same thing for the NASDAQ, just so that I have a clear depiction of what our weekly profile could potentially look like. And personally, I do not trade Mondays, so I'm just going to fast forward price past the Monday to get us into Tuesday's price action. Okay, now that we're fast forwarded to Tuesday's price action, we're currently sitting at 9 in the morning for both the NASDAQ. Actually, the NASDAQ is short 1 hour. For the NASDAQ, ES, and YM. And what we're looking for inside of the daily bullish fair value gap in discount of the range is some sort of tell as to if we're going to trade higher off of our higher time frame PDRA. And the first thing that we're going to look for inside of this price area is SMT divergence. And I don't see any divergence with the NASDAQ and ES, but I see it with YM. As I could tell, these lows here marked off with ES, lower low, higher low, lower low, higher low, and on NASDAQ, or on the YM, lower low, and another lower low here. So therefore, ES and the NASDAQ are showing strength in the market off of our daily bullish fair value gap and discount of the price range. Another thing that I do like about the S&P 500 is we ran these lows, so I consider this a stop hunt, and the last up close candle before we ran the stops would be this hourly candle, and I would drag that out in time and mark this off as our potential hourly bullish breaker block. So I'm going to play price out, and as you can see, our hourly bullish breaker block was confirmed with the hourly bullish candle closing above this swing high. So our bullish breaker is now confirmed, and now what I'll be looking for is a potential entry to go long off of this breaker block, either today or further in the week. So given as to where we went from off of this hourly bullish breaker block, I had this screenshot sent to my Discord after we confirmed our hourly breaker. I believe that we were going to trade into this hourly bearish for value gap, retrace back down into the bullish breaker block, capping out our range for the day, and then continuing higher throughout the week. Okay, now fast forward into the next day. We're now into Wednesday, and so far everything is going well. We respected this hourly bearish for value gap, and now we're getting some solid accumulation or consolidation right before high impact news, which was going to be released at, I believe, 8:30 in the morning. And what I had anticipated was for price to take out these relative equal lows and then tag discount of this hourly energetic swing, and then tagging the bullish breaker block as well. So my POI would be at the minimum for ES to tag this 50% equilibrium of this hourly swing. So now that we're looking for an actual entry intraday, I'm going to drop down to our lower time frame and execute off of the 15-minute. Now that we have a confirmation that price has energy off of our higher time frame POI, our daily bullish fair value gap, and we have a confirmed bullish breaker. I also did like the fact that NASDAQ had smooth relative equal highs lying at 15,155. Okay, so we're on our 15-minute chart. ES is on the left, NASDAQ is on the right, and I marked off the time on a vertical line when we have high impact news, which was at 9:30 equities open. This was also when Jerome Powell was going up to speak. The first thing that I notice is that we take out Asia's lows on NASDAQ here, but what is the difference between ES and NASDAQ? NASDAQ is showing strength, giving us SMT divergence, showing that this is our strength leader compared to ES. And ES was on its way to seek equilibrium and find discount of that hourly swing. And we get a very slight tag and retracement into the discount of the hourly swing, and we tag our hourly bullish breaker block. So automatically, based off of me seeing the SMT divergence with NASDAQ and ES and the run on discount of the range and tagging our hourly bullish breaker block, was when we had our high impact news release, gave me more confidence that this was a Judas swing and the real move was to buy side liquidity. So the next thing that I did here was I marked the last up close candle swing high on NASDAQ, which would be the bullish breaker here, and then I measured the swing from this low to this high and projected targets as to where I could take profits at. After price confirmed our 15-minute bullish breaker block, my entry was sitting right at the high of the 15-minute bullish breaker, and my stop loss is sitting right below here at this swing low, with our take profit sitting right in between 2 standard deviations and 2.5 standard deviation projection, lying at the relative equal highs that I labeled before. The risk to reward on this trade was also a 2.45 RR. Now, if I fast forward price, you can see exactly what happened. The strength leader of NASDAQ gave us our perfect trade with a very good risk to reward, and it gave us our tell because of the SMT divergence, our higher time frame PDRA tag, our liquidity injection on news that brought us down to discount of the hourly range, tagging our hourly breaker, and on top of that, allowing us to see a Judas swing, then giving us a tell to go long on NASDAQ. To me, this was a high probability trade, and this is exactly what I seek for in my entry model every single day of the week if it is offered to me. So concluding the end of the week, the end of the month, and the end of quarter two, this week's price prediction and our directional bias was to the T. It was on point. It was a very clear direction based off of our higher time frame bias. We saw price drop into a daily bullish fair value gap right here that was in a discount PDRA of this daily swing, the most recent energetic swing. And then I brought to you guys the top-down analysis of exactly how I was going to execute it and how I was going to play it. And as you can see, it's working out to our expectations. And NASDAQ is doing the exact same thing here as well, on its way to our buy-side liquidity pool, resting at the 14,475 highs, and then eventually our targets for in July will be based off of this 4-hour bullish breaker block and the zone between the 2 and the 2.5 standard deviations expansion. which is lying at these relative equal highs on the weekly chart. So that is our projections, and that is what we're going to be looking forward to seeing price reach in the month of July. So that is it for the video, you guys, and I just wanted to show you guys exactly how I do top-down analysis. I do this with my Discord, and I actually did this live with them, walked them through top-down analysis of exactly how I was anticipating price to reach our exact draw on liquidity this week, how I was able to determine our bias, and show you live before anything actually happened as to how we could actually make executions based off of what the higher time frame is telling us. And I do this live with them 2 to 3 times a week, but it's also depending on the economic calendar and what days will be high probability and which days will be low probability. And also big props to the MMXM trader on Twitter. If you have or have not bought his course in regards to his teachings, I highly recommend you do that, because everything that I showed you guys here has stemmed from exactly what he has taught in his videos and his course, and he is one of the main reasons as to how I became a profitable trader in this niche and have been able to find longevity in this business.